Hmm?
That was nice.
There we go. Alright, so here we go. I guess we got it all figured out. Yay. Well, hey there, you awesome bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs. It is I, Little Wolf, and welcome to my den. Go ahead and come on in, but please wipe your paws before entering. And as usual, the cauldron is bubbling, so you can have your choice of tea, coffee, or hot chocolate. And tonight, I actually have a little bit of fun with this because I do have a special guest here with me. And what name do you want to go by here?
I guess Rin.
Rin? Okay. And for some who don't know, Rin is my pup. Um, let's see here. What did we do the last few days? We went through both of the versions of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
And I remember
Yeah.
you watching the one with Gene Wylander with us
Mhm.
when we lived in the Black House.
Yeah.
So, after watching both of them, which one do you kind of prefer?
I I really like the one with Johnny Depp. Um, I don't really know why. Probably because two reasons. Johnny Depp is like one of my favorite characters, and he did a really awesome job on playing Willy Wonka. And also because like I don't know, it's just I really like the one with Johnny Depp more than the original.
Yeah, I did think they did do a really good job because recently I did go through and listen to the audiobook quite a few times, and later on I'll probably send you a file that has it on there. But they did do a really good job of adapting the book to the Johnny Depp movie.
And when you and I watched it, I remember you said it like 3 or 4 times, like something very similar to this is a lot more like the book than the original, and I'm gonna have to listen to the audiobook that you sent me earlier, but just from hearing what you said, yeah, I'm gonna assume so.
One of the things I did learn when I was doing some research for it was that they had Roald Dahl's wife was one of the producers for the movie. And she even said that Roald Dahl, who was the author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, would actually be happier with the Johnny Depp version.
Hmm. That's a lot to say about the movie.
Yeah, I would think so. And I mean, I can understand why there are people out there who do not enjoy the Johnny Depp version when they try and compare it to the original, because for a lot of people the original is just such a classic type movie, and everybody, well, mostly everybody I guess would know what it is.
Hmm.
And like with all of the songs, especially because I know you said you love the Oompa Loompa songs, with them starting off with the Oompa Loompa Doopa Da Dee.
I love that song. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I like the original because the songs that they sing in the one with Johnny Depp, those ones are really different, but at the same time, it's like it's something new and I could actually get used to this. It's kind of like when I watch a horror movie, like it takes me a couple times to be like, okay, I can watch this without closing my eyes or needing to like cling on to something with a blanket over my head and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that was something else too with the Johnny Depp version. When the Oompa Loompas were doing their singing, a lot of the songs did come straight from the book also. They were songs that they did sing in the book.
The original songs.
In the Johnny Depp one.
That's what I'm talking about. The original songs from the book.
Yeah, and so those were a lot more what happened in the book. Which, yeah, to most people, liking the Johnny Depp version is kind of like sacrilegious almost, but I would almost think that some of them probably don't remember the book or haven't read the book, and so I could see why they might not like the Johnny Depp version, because it's really more modernized for the time period, because I think it came out in like 2005. And so
Yeah, I think so.
And so when they look at the time difference of it, and then they look at how Johnny Depp actually played Willy Wonka, I could see why they might not like it. But from what I'm getting from listening to the audiobook and watching Depp play Willy Wonka on screen, he actually does a really good job.
It's basically like comparing the audiobook or the book, whichever one people read or listen to, or just whatever. It's like, if you look at the movies, from what I hear from you, it's the one with Johnny Depp is more like you can compare it more than the original.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the same with books and movies, like, except for Johnny, the one with Johnny Depp is like that one compares a lot with the book, but like in the situation with the original and the book, it's kind of like in a whole lot of other things, like other movies. You would read, some people read the book first and then the movie, and like people that read the book, they notice like the little things like, oh, this didn't happen, or that happened, but why isn't it happening in this? It's basically the situation here.
Yeah, and also in doing some of the research, there were quite a few people who did not like the Gene Wylander version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because they did change around so much. Like in that version, how they have the room with the geese in it that lay the golden eggs.
Yeah.
That's actually the scene in the Depp version where they have the room with the squirrels.
Yeah.
And for some reason, people were trying to figure out why they would change it from geese to squirrels, or vice versa. And
Yeah.
from what I understand, is like it was a technical reason, because like trying to get, I think in the room they're supposed to have 100 squirrels, and so for like 1970s when it came out, it would be really hard to have squirrels that are like trained and safe to be around, I think.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But I mean, yeah, I really do like the Johnny Depp version, because it does have um a lot more based from the book and everything else. But I can still see why people won't like it, because they're really stuck on liking the original. And to me, I like both versions for different reasons.
It's basically the situation with you and I. It's like we both love both of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factories. Like we could watch both the movies over and over and we'd still love both the movies the same amount. It's like it's basically we love them both. It's like I don't really know how to explain it, but I could just watch both of the movies and not get bored of it. It's like it's just interesting to me.
Yeah, and like when we were watching the one with Gene Wylander as Willy Wonka, I kept telling you, there's probably going to be points in here where I'm either going to start singing the song along with the movie or humming it or something, because
You
they're
grew up
just
with
such
it.
iconic songs and fun.
Yeah. I remember when I first watched the original um Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or whatever, and in the very beginning, they're showing a bunch of chocolate and candy and stuff, and I was like, wow, so much candy. It's been, I was so amazed, and I mean, like, I was little, but that's not really the point, but I was just, I think that's one reason I liked the movies, like, there was so much candy and all, and the other reason I really like both of the movies is because for some odd reason, the movies, like the machines that they have remind me so much of Dr. Seuss. Like in the original, when he's making the gobstopper candy, um the sounds that it made and the way it looked reminds me so much of Dr. Seuss. And the one with Johnny Depp, like it's it's almost as if they brought the Dr. Seuss machines to life. And I just found that so cool. But like even if it didn't remind me like Dr. Seuss or something, like I would still be amazed by the machines.
Yeah, and just the different imagination parts that would have to go into making them,
Hmm.
especially when you kind of see more into the mind of Willy Wonka and how eccentric he is.
Yeah, there's probably one other reason I really like the movies is because like I have a really crazy imagination. Um and it's kind of like Willy Wonka. I I have a fun imagination and like I I would just be not myself if I didn't have the imagination that I have today because right now, as you know of, I'm working on 3 books, but for those who don't know, I'm working on 3 books. Um the first one is called The Runaway. It's about this girl, blah blah blah. She goes to jail and she has to find a way to get out. And then there's this other one, um, just like the first book I was talking to you guys about. It's about this girl who is sent to jail because she is framed, and she stays there for like a whole year or something like that. And then the court finally realizes, oh, she's not guilty. And the last book is so like I've read a lot of books. There are 3 books that I know of that a lot of people write about. Um, One, it's in the past. Two, is he in the future? Or the last one is fiction, like about characters in a movie or in a TV series, kind of like how people make books about Katsuki Bakugo, blah blah blah. And it's like I have not seen a book that is in the present, so I decided to write a book about. And I got this idea because I saw this one post on Instagram about this guy being stupid. He was like, so he took a picture of his finger and he put like a little microchip on his finger and he's like, I sneezed and look what came out of my nose. It seems like the government is putting this to track us down. And it's like, okay then. So basically the storyline is going to be like it's kind of like about my situation of how I was in Anchorage. I'm not gonna say why, but I was in Anchorage for a while, and I used to get tests. We did, and then in December, um, and basically the story is gonna be like this girl or something is sent away, and she keeps on getting tested over and over, and then she finally gets this feeling like the symptoms and being sick. But what they're doing is like, so when they shove the thing up the nose to like do the test, that's actually a little like a little camera on the tester or whatever you want to call it, and they're seeing how the chip is doing that they put up there. And when she got sick, that's the microchip like not working. And I hope I don't scare anybody with this story, but it's just fiction, and I just thought it'd be fun because I have not seen a book that's in the present, if other than autobiographies of Norman Reedus or some other people.
Of course, you would pick Norman Reedus.
Hush.
But yeah, I mean, me and you are kind of the same when it comes to liking movies and shows and things like that. So I'm just glad we both do enjoy both versions of the Chocolate Factory movies.
Wipe it clean, wipe it clean.
Oh no. Now you're going into Assassination Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Which we still gotta get you to watch the rest of those.
I'm on like episode 3 or something on Funimation. But yeah.
Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to put those from my computer onto your phone again.
We should probably put it on that little phone you gave me a while ago, if I can find it again. Because my phone, I would most likely go through my pictures or something and then see I have a bunch of stuff and then forget about it and delete all of those again like last time. And then I'd be like, oh shit, I deleted them. No.
Okay, so let's see here. With the Johnny Depp version of the movie, um there's gonna be like some of the actors in there that I know you would recognize, like especially the gum chewer. Um
Um,
oh, my brain
Violet?
just farted. Yeah, Violet. Um and she was played by Anna Sophia Robb, which if you remember, she played in the movie Because of Winn-Dixie.
I love that movie. It's such a cute movie.
Hmm. And then, of course, Johnny Depp. Everybody knows him. He plays in just about anything, and you would know him more or
Duh.
less from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I actually have a TikTok account, which you know of, but others don't know because I am just meeting everybody and people are just meeting me. But I have a TikTok account and there's this one background sound that was edited and posted by this one person and I did a video and yeah. And I'm gonna be doing more soundtracks. Like one of my favorite soundtracks that one person made was there's like this song behind it and then his most um like quotes or like something that people know more of, like why is the rum gone and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna have to do that video later, but yeah, I really like Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Hmm. I was gonna say, at least you remembered the captain part.
Yeah, how could I not? And it's like if somebody came up to me and be like, "Do you know Jack Sparrow?" I'm like, "Who?" They're like, "Jack Sparrow," and I'm like, "No, it's Captain Jack Sparrow. Get it right."
Yes, and yeah, of course, everybody knows him from that. And of like all the actors that are in it, I really don't know too many except for Violet's mom, which was also a character in a movie I'm gonna have to show you at some point in
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy Quest.
Mm.
And the kid that plays Charlie, he was in another show. I think it was the Bates Motel.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, I'll have to show you the origins of that because I think you'll like Psycho. That's a good
Yeah.
movie. And the one that played Charlie's mom, Mrs. Bucket, was Helena Bottom Carter, which was also the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland with Johnny Depp.
The Queen of Hearts or whatever.
Yes, yes. I think those are really the only characters you would kind of know.
I would like know them like by I'm not so well with names unless I've seen the movie over and over and I get to like the movie.
hmm
Um kind of like how I remember a majority of the names in Inuyasha. I like it takes me a few times and to be actually interested in it to remember the names.
Yeah, and the one that played Willy Wonka's dad, which was Dr. Wonka, which is kind of a funny name. Um,
Mhm.
it was Christopher Lee, and you didn't really like the movie, but he was the bad guy in Mio in the Land of Far Away.
Yeah, I tried watching that when I was in Anchorage as well, but I was not interested in it. I watched like I don't know how long, like probably like a half hour trying to get through it, like seeing if I like it, and then after a bit, I just changed it. I was like, for some odd reason, I'm just not interested in it.
We'll have to try and give it another chance later. I think you will like it once it really gets going into it.
True.
But yeah, those are really the only actors that I know pretty much by name and face from the movie. And
Yeah.
then in the original where they have Gene Wylander as Willy Wonka, a lot of people probably around my age would know him from like the Mel Brooks movies, which we're gonna have to wait until you're older to watch those, but I
Mhm.
definitely want to show those to you at some point.
Yeah.
Um, but he was in quite a few movies. Let's see here, I'm checking the Oracle right now to pull up the actors and stuff from that one. But like, I think Grandpa Joe in the original one was like one of the big names in it because at that point, I don't think that Gene Wylander was a really big name, but
Mhm.
like Grandpa Joe, I think was most known in that one.
Mhm.
But I'm definitely glad I was able to finally actually sit down and watch the new one because I put it off for a long time. Because I was one of those people where it's like, oh, they're not going to be able to do a good job with it, and also it's a remake of a movie. They kind of mess up on remakes nowadays, and just kind of a movie snob because I was so in love with the original.
But basically, a debate like it. It sounds bad. It looks bad, and from what I hear or from what I've seen, most movies that are remakes are not good these days. But you ended up sitting down and watching it with me.
Yeah, and we found it here at like one of the local thrift shops, and
Yeah.
figured why not? It's only a couple of bucks, and
Mhm.
definitely at
Because
least worth a watch.
yeah, because other movies like if you buy a movie that's actually decent and not scratched up from a thrift shop, it could be cheaper than like movies from like Safeway or Cars or whatever people have where they're from.
Yeah. And considering I have like a lot of people listening from like around the world, like not too
Yeah.
many of them would know Safeway. I know not many would know Cars because I think that's mainly a Alaska thing.
Yeah, but
Um,
like stores that sell movies, like whatever they're called from wherever
yeah,
people are from, it's basically like thrift shops that have movies that are decent enough that can play. It's like that's a good like that's a good deal that you got right there because
yeah,
you could be spending like possibly $3 or how much it says like whatever the price is. It could be like almost like 15 or $20 just for one movie in a store.
yeah. And like, unless you find it in like a $5 bin or something like that. But
Yeah, it really depends because like yeah, there is like a $5 bin sometimes, but it's also when some movies come out, like when they first come out, sometimes they're in the expensive places. But then like what I've noticed is that sometimes they slowly go to the $5 bin or something. It's just it really depends on the movie, I guess, or something. I don't know what they do though.
yeah, it's weird which movies they decide to put in there and which ones not to. But I'm definitely glad I was able to pick this one up and finally sat down and gave it a chance. And like, I think even you said throughout certain parts of the movie that things that Willy Wonka was saying to the kids and to the parents were things that I would probably say to them.
Yeah, kind of like I don't really have an example, but oh, I have an example. So like in the first movie, he's like, "No, don't come back, please." That would be you. That'd be so you. And then after they do it, doing something stupid, you'd be like, "I told you not to do it." After you laugh, or be like, "You dumbass," something like that. Like you would laugh at them, and then like throughout laughing, you'd say something very similar to like, "You dumbass," or "I told you not to."
Yeah. It's almost like when you bump your shin and I make sure whatever you bumped your shin on is okay.
Like that time when we were watching Willy Wonka, the new one, I bonked my shin on my bed and I was sitting on the ground laughing, saying ow or whatever. And you like crawl over to the bed, and you were like, "Are you okay?" And in my mind, I was like, "You ass." But then again, I know you can be way worse than that. And that's just your way of saying, "I love you."
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of like those times where I'd be like, when I was younger, I was like, "Dad, I want a bedtime story." And you're like, "Okay," you grab a book, you turn to the first page, and then you go to the end, like, the end. Do you remember when you do that?
Yeah. Oh, I still remember how many times you had me read Because of Winn-Dixie because you liked that one so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a copy of that on my Google Play or my Google Books account. I'm thinking I might read that for my channel. I'm not sure.
I remember, like, the first time I watched the original Willy Wonka, as I said in the very beginning, I was like, "Wow, so much candy." I remember that very exact thought. And then my two favorite scenes from that movie was when they were having an interview with uh, uh
Augustus?
Augustus Gloop, and they were like interviewing with his dad, and they put the microphone up to his face, and they're like, "So, Mr. Gloos, blah blah blah." But then before they could finish that sentence, he just eats the microphone.
Yeah.
Or when they were like zooming in on the reporter who's reporting Augustus and that stuff, like behind him there's antlers, and it just makes him look like he has antlers. And I remember I giggled so much.
Yeah, they had to do that on purpose. I mean, there was no way that they could be filming that and it not be.
And them not noticing, oh, there's antlers behind me. But
Yeah.
my favorite scene from the one with Johnny Depp was when the girl, she was going down to the squirrel. She's like, "Daddy, I want a squirrel." Being a little brat she is, and then
Mhm.
like the squirrels like tackle her down, and then the one squirrel jumps on her and knocks on her head, and I'm like, yes, that was funny.
Yeah, and in the book they explained that they they were knocking on her head the same way they would knock on like the walnuts that they were shelling.
Hmm.
And if it sounded too hollow, then it was a bad nut. And
Oh,
so
that's why they took her down.
yeah, and they decided that Veruca was a bad nut because her head sounded hollow.
I mean, either way, if she was just a brat, so she kind of deserved that.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely always got whatever she wanted from her parents and had them wrapped around her finger.
I loved how at the end, her dad was. She's like, "Daddy, I want a flying elevator." And he's like, "No," and she's like, "But," and he's like, "No." I loved how he started getting strict, and it's like, yes, finally, teacher.
Yeah, I think that's also like one of the weird points. I did send you a few videos when I was doing research of this, where they were
Yeah.
talking about different theories, and part of why Willy Wonka did some of this was to show the parents that their kids weren't that great and that the parents weren't that good at being parents.
hmm
And so,
It's
like
like a
them,
little lesson.
yeah, them getting put into the garbage chute or having to be pulled on the taffy machine and stuff like that were different
hmm
ways of saying, hey, pay attention to your kid and
Yeah.
don't give them everything they want.
hmm Like Augustus, if you give him too much food, the consequence, fat little boy.
Oh, yeah. And uh, I don't really remember seeing it too well in the Depp movie, but when they show them all coming out of the factory towards the end of it, apparently he's supposed to be skinny because like the pipe he went through got skinnier and skinnier, and so it
hmm
made him
Oh,
skinny.
so yeah, I could see why.
Yeah, and that was another thing that I think both movies did really well, was showing how bratty and mean the kids were in both versions.
hmm I find it interesting. Well, not interesting, but funny. If I was in that movie, or if this actually happened in real life, and I got a golden ticket, and I met Violet or whichever one, like I'm the type of person I will straight up say something to you. If you're, I will give you. I'll be back. But in this situation, if I was there, I would have been like, shut the up.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of bleeping in this.
Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, most people know that you're basically my pup, and so I mean, you're gonna pretty much talk and act the same way I do. So
Kind of like where I get the joke from. If Jesus takes a is it a holy? I love that joke
oh
that you
no.
said.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing.
Oh yeah.
But I'm definitely glad I was able to sit down and watch these movies with you and finally gave the Johnny Depp movie a chance. And I actually really do enjoy it, especially since it's more close to the book.
hmm
And it's not gonna take the place of the original movie for me, because I still think like that Charlie was a better Charlie, and the
hmm
songs and the Willy Wonka there was just so iconic and memorable. But the new one, just with how close it was to the book, and especially how you say Willy Wonka kind of reminds you of me, type
hmm
thing, like things I would say and do and whatnot. Um, and
Like that one
finally,
part where, hold on, it's like that part where they're walking in and the kid says something and he's like, "Oh, I don't care."
she's introducing herself, and I think that was Violet, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm Violet Beauregard," and he's like, "Oh, I don't care."
That'd be so you and me. It reminds me so much of the meme that they made of Willy Wonka with Johnny Depp. They showed that picture, like they take a picture of him with subtitles saying, "Oh, I don't care." Like basically, the meme is one person, "How are you?" The me, "I'm okay." The other person, "Aren't you gonna ask how I am?" Then the picture with what Willy Wonka comes up. "Oh, I don't care."
Oh, we're definitely gonna have. I hope the bipeds have fun watching this and listening to this, because I've definitely had fun talking with you about this. And
Yeah.
I hope we can set up more later on, because I
Mhm.
have been telling people that I've been going through and I've showed you the first Alien movie, and I'm glad you like that.
We'll definitely have to do a video about that later.
Yeah, I still have like 3 other ones to show you to see what you think
Mhm.
of them, and maybe do another quick video on that.
We should also do a video on the new Mortal Kombat movie. That one, like, there's so much differences between the one and the 19 something. I don't remember,
I think
but
it was
so,
95,
I thought it was
somewhere around there.
97. I don't know,
Yeah.
95
Well,
or 97. And those two compared, they're so different, and it's like I fell in love with them.
yeah, definitely. That'd be fun, and especially the fact that you like movies as much as I do, and we can sit down and both banter off of each other with it. So I
Yeah.
think my viewers would actually enjoy it.
I find it funny. I am really into movies like Mortal Kombat or stuff with Johnny Depp or just movies in TV shows like anime in general. Like I'm really interested into that stuff. Yet when I have my own time to do stuff, I'm usually on YouTube watching weird like weird videos like YouTubers reacting to stupid people, or I'm scrolling through TikTok or talking with my friends while doing those things. And it's like, I love Inuyasha and Assassination Classroom and blah blah blah, but I don't ever really sit down and watch it. It's like I'll watch it, but then I'll be like, okay, time to do my own thing now.
Yeah. I think we should start wrapping it up here. We've been talking for quite a bit.
How long? Half hour?
Uh, a little bit longer than that, I think. But
Uh,
uh, definitely, it was definitely a good talk.
mhm.
And I definitely need to get you the audiobook later on, and then maybe we can get you back on to talk about what you think of that.
Yeah.
And it's not that long. It's only like, I think 2.5 hours long to
From what
listen
I'm
to.
hearing, it's nothing compared to Lockdown. That one is really long. It took me a while to get through the whole book.
Yeah, I think that one's 9 or 10 hours long, something like that.
I would listen to like 2 or 1 hour. I don't even know. Like I would listen to it like for a couple of hours and then I'd stop it. It took me like 2 days to finally finish it.
Yeah, definitely. But this one we could probably sit down and listen to and get it over within a night or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for coming onto my channel and helping me talk about the Johnny Depp versus Gene Wylander Willy Wonkas. And
It was nice meeting you all, and if you want you can talk to my dad about meeting me on his Discord thingy chat. I don't really know. Or just say something in the comments and he'll respond to you. And yeah,
all
I like
right,
turtles.
goofy. All right, so we're definitely going to have to set up some time later on to watch some more movies and
Mhm.
do some more recordings, and
Yeah.
just have to wait and see what the people think of this.
Yep. And also see how people like me being a part of some of your videos.
Yeah. This was definitely fun.
Yeah.
And with that being said, all you bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs out there, we do
Dino
live on
Nuggies.
we do live on one planet, so let's at least try and be civil. And I love you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye, you awesome bipeds.